Hey guys, it's Tiqqle, and in this video we're going to do my Enhanced Shaman leveling guide for Classic. This is going to go over your talents, your stat priorities, where to get your weapons, and then how to kill those mobs. Kill one at a time, two at a time, go efficient, don't go efficient. Let's get into it. Number one, I went Enhanced Shaman on a Shaman. I do think leveling as Enhanced is faster than leveling as Ellie. I leveled to an Ellie on Beta to level 30, then I leveled this Enhanced. And I'll tell you why as we get into the talents. The talents actually do get pretty important into your late 20s, and then 30 with Wind Fury, things really start to take off for an Enhanced Shaman. Number one, let's go over the spec. Now, what's important in this spec? Well, let me just go over each tier one at a time. We're going to move kind of fast, though. Number one, you want this, increasing your max mana by 5%, all 5 points. Why? Because going the build that I went, which was very fast with Wind Fury and getting certain two-handed weapons, very, very good. Now, for shield specialization, just not worth it for the build that I'm going. You can go a more tanky protection enhance. Some people do it, some people tank dungeons. That's an option. Haven't done it. I'm just saying this what worked for me. Took that. Next is Thundering Strikes, improves your chance to get a critical strike with your weapon by 5%. This is important for later, and as well as critting is very nice for doing big chunking damage. It's also helpful for Wind Fury, all that stuff. I took the improved Ghost Wolf. Why? Some people could say you could go into other areas, but for me, I wanted this because it's going to keep me more mobile before 40, and if I don't have enough money before 40 for a mount, or at 40 for a mount, Ghost Wolf is a very good substitute because it does increase movement speed 40%. Mounts 60%. It's actually pretty dang good. And being able to whip it out and use it real quick, pretty good, pretty good. Next, this tier, I actually do not recommend doing this. Do not put points into Improved Lightning Shield. Why? Because it costs a chunk of mana. And I don't use it that often. It does do extra damage, but I don't recommend doing this. Next tier is two-handed axes and maces. Only go this if you have something. Now, your first axe will be around late 20s. The Corpse Maker from RFK. I'll put it over here or over there. You will probably want this, but you don't need to go this right away if you want to keep on putting points in Thundering Strikes, for example. I would recommend to put these 2 points into Anticipation. I do think the dodge chance is better for leveling. 2%, la-di-da, but still a little bit better. Why? Because you don't have to use mana to use, for this to be effective. The next tier is Flurry. Oh my, this is the #1 most important talent on this entire tree. Increases your attack speed by 30% for your next 3 attacks after dealing critical hit. What you need to understand here is the reason why this is so important is because you're using two-handers. These two-handers have huge swing times. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, it's 2.5 seconds. It's actually a long time. Increasing that by 30% gives you more chances for Wind Fury procs at level 30 and beyond. Huge deal. You need to get this. Now, if I go down, I expect to do a bunch of different stuff here to try it out. One is chance to parry enemy melee attacks, meaning if the target's in front of you hitting you, you have a chance to melee to reduce the damage or not take the damage. This is elemental weapons, increasing the melee attack power of your Wind Fury effect, which is what I used in the entire time leveling, which was Wind Fury. And this is, I actually went for 1 point in here. I could have put it in Anticipation or elsewhere, but I just put it here. Increases the melee attack power bonus of Wind Fury Totem and increases the damage caused by your Flame Tongue Totem by 6%. What's important to call out here is I put a point into this to kind of try it out, but this only improves your Wind Fury Totem, meaning only when you're grouped with other people and you're giving them, by dropping them Wind Fury Totem, does it affect them. One thing that I definitely want to make sure people realize is that enchanting your weapon with Wind Fury as an Enhanced Shaman is very important. You don't want to use your totem's Wind Fury. Now, why? Well, let's take a quick look. Wind Fury weapon gives me a 20% chance to proc an extra 2 attacks for an increased, it's just 310 damage, whatever, but a proc an extra 2 attacks. That's only on my personal enchanted weapon. The totem, on the other hand, gives me each hit a 20% chance, granting the attacker 1 extra. It's very important. You want that double extra hit. So definitely keep on imbuing your weapon with Wind Fury. Because if you have Wind Fury Totem down, let's just say, and you use something else like, I don't know, Flame Tongue, you can actually tell what effect is impacting your weapon just by highlighting it in your inventory. Right? So I put Flame Tongue on, and you can see Flame Tongue's active. If I get rid of Flame Tongue, now you can see, wait, Come on. Well, I guess I actually can't click it off because this is classic. But if I didn't have Flame Tongue on, you could see the Wind Fury totem would be affecting it. But again, you don't want that. You want to use Wind Fury weapon. It gives you more hits. It's good for you. Do it. Now, let's go back to the talents real quick. Yes, so that's what this one does. It only affects your totem. So if you're in parties all the time, definitely take this. Why not? The next one is Whip of Mastery, just increasing your damage by 10% with your weapons. Very good, especially for a two-handed Wind Fury boy. Last one, Storm Strike, giving you an extra attack. In addition, the next 2 nature damage dealt to the target is increased by 20%. This is good-ish. What it does is it puts a debuff up on the target, and we'll kill some mobs in a little bit. But you put it up, and then the only thing you have that's nature is Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt, and Earth Shock. So as an enhance, you're up close and personal. You're not going to be casting. Because you'll get pushback. You will be using Earth Shock. So that's what you want to be using is a Storm Strike into Earth Shock as big damage. The only thing is that costs a lot of mana, so you got to be a little bit careful. So anyway, this is the spec that I'm going. I started to put talents into Elemental as I've been leveling up, maxing out Convection for the reduced mana cost because we're leveling efficiency here, guys. That's our #1 name of the game. Next, Concussion. This is increasing the damage of my Shocks and my Lightning Bolt Chain Lightning, but mostly my Shocks. That's what I care about. Also scaling with Storm Strike. I'm putting points in here to eventually get to Elemental Focus. Gives you a 10% chance to enter clear casting after casting on one of the different schools. Meaning, if I cast Flame Shock, any of my Shocks, there's a chance to proc this, so my next spell won't cost anything. Pretty good for leveling. Now, what I want to call out in the talents is the most important and things you need to focus on. What you need to focus on is really very simple. It's only 2 talents. This one and this one. Number one and number two most important things. Why, Tiqqle? What do you mean? Well, it's super important for leveling and for playing Enhance because, like I mentioned earlier, your swing times are super duper slow and you're going to be going Wind Fury, meaning you're trying to get those massive procs, so procs on procs. And so what you really need here is you want that increased crit rate, and you want so that when you crit with that increased crit rate, you're increasing your attack speed means more Wind Fury procs per minute, means you're going to be getting that more and more and more. This is really where the money's at. Everything else is hoopla. This is pretty important. It's scaling your damage with that Wind Fury. And this is okay. But really the money's here. This is the money. This is the money. That's it. Everything else is, lottie-dottie. I don't have anything in Resto, and that's it. Now, on the topic of crit, let's talk a little bit about stats. Number 1, Spirit is gosh darn good. I don't care what anybody says. People say it's not. I don't care. It is good. Now, why? Now, let's just take a second. A lot of people don't know this. If you're new to Classic, your main stats here don't do the same things they do in BFA. They don't do the same things they did in Legion, etc., etc. Go on back. What they do is very different. You need to make sure you read these, guys. It's super important. Number 1, Spirit increases health and mana regeneration rates. Oh. Well, this is not very descriptive, but what it does is out of combat and when you're resting, your mana and your health will start regenerating faster with more Spirit. You want to have that. You want to have that because that's going to reduce your downtime between mob pulls. Having more int, all it does is increases your mana and increases the chance to get a spell crit. Guess what? I don't really care about that. I'm going for Wind Fury crits. And I want more uptime. I want more health. I want more mana to use Shocks if I need to. Totems if I need to. Refresh Wind Fury. I don't want to be spending those. I don't want to be spending time drinking. So that's very important. Spirit's number 1. Number 2 is Agility. Agility increases the attack power with ranged weapons. We don't need that. But this is what's key. Improves the chance to score a critical strike with all weapons. You know what that means, boys and girls? That means this. It's increasing the chance for you to get flurry procs, which will increase your attack speed by 30%, which means more Wind Fury, spinny. So that's where the money's at. It gets even more, it's super, super important. So it's Spirit, then Agility, and then it goes to Strength. Strength is just overall how much you're hitting for. That's a good scaling. And then last being, that's it, pretty much it. Hit rating, of course, guys, everybody knows it's number 1. You want to make sure your hit rating is up, but you can't control that for the most part for a long time. You get this in Hinterlands, by the way. Elite Quest, go do it now. No. But anyway, and another question that I get all the time is, hey, Tiqqle, what level did you go to which zone? How did you handle that? And I basically would recommend just one thing. Don't go to the Barrens till you're level 11. Otherwise, I will put a Wowhead article in the description, a link there. It'll show you all the different leveling ranges for each of the different zones. You definitely should check that out and follow what it has. I did something along those lines, but I mostly did follow Questy. Questy is this add-on I'm using, I keep referring to, and if I highlight Quest, it'll show me where a quest becomes available for different levels, and I'll know if that zone maybe is somewhere I should check out or not. So I definitely recommend that. Now, the next thing I want to go over is for Shaman leveling. Maybe this could apply to some other two-handed classes, but what weapons should you use and how and like what to do to get the best weapon possible? I will tell you what I did. And I think what I did has actually been working really well, especially up till now. I'm starting to feel like I need to get some new upgrades. But the number one tip that I would recommend for everyone that will help at the beginning, because I know the beginning is just so slow with Enhance, or in any class probably. But as an Enhance, you want to be using two-handed staffs at the very beginning, because that's all you'll be able to use, especially when you're in Duratar. You want to be getting those. You want to be using Rockbiter on them. That's going to increase the overall damage of each hit. It's going to be slow. It's going to be slow, and I'm sorry, but you want to get it. Now, if you get a better DPS one-hander, sure, put Flame Tongue on it, then keep hitting and bashing away with the shield. But once you get to the point where you can do Wailing Caverns, there is a series of quests in here. You should definitely do all like 7, I think. But there is a chain quest that starts in the Crossroads that has to do with the seeds. There's and exploring all the different forgotten pools and the Stagnant Oasis, doing that chain quest. Do that chain quest before you go into Wailing Caverns. It will eventually lead you to help a Rune Totem individual over here. He'll send you to Thunder Bluff, and this is where you'll pick up the quest around here. This quest will give you the Crescent Staff. This is your number one first kind of like, I got a good weapon. You take that weapon, you put Rockbiter, and you keep on swinging. This is a good weapon. It's pretty solid. You would take it if you're Enhanced or Ellie. It's very good. Take it, use it. The next one, and I think that's like leveled low 20s. The next item you want to go for is from, let's see where it is, RFK. You will be kind of, 29 is a safe place to go in at safe level. And the reason I say that is you want to go for this weapon, the Corpse Maker. This will be your second big weapon as a two-handed Enhance. And you definitely need to have that two-handed axe mastery selected in your talents for this. This will be a very strong axe. It'll do you well. It's about the level you get Wind Fury, you'll start swinging very strong. That's your second weapon you need to go after in RFK, which is in the Southern Barrens. I'll just point it out for you in case you don't know, down here. Now, the next weapon you want to be going for is in Scarlet Monastery Armory. It's from Herod. It's the Ravager. Chance to hit, you have a chance to attack all nearby enemies for 9 seconds, causing weapon damage plus additional 5 every 3 seconds. This is an incredible weapon. Every two-hander user should get this puppy. I am still using it at 48, and the level requirement is 37. So I recommend you go get it as soon as you hit 37. Get a group and get in there. It's going to be in hot demand, though. And I'll show you how it works in a few minutes when I show you how to fight 1 mob and 2 mobs at a time as an Enhance. But that is going to be your next weapon. The weapon after this, the one that I'm going to be going for, I'll put it up on the screen, but it's from a quest. It's over here called the Corruption of Earth and Seed. It's a very strong staff again that I'm going to be going for killing the last boss of Maradon. I'll be getting that pretty soon, I hope, now that I'm approaching 50. And it's actually crazy. And I heard, don't disenchant this weapon. I heard Ravager is actually a weapon that you will need later because it's actually good for some raids at the end of the game. I don't know if that's 100% true. Put it in the comments, guys. If you guys know, I'm not 100% professional on this game. But anyway, it's been serving me well. I recommend everybody get it. It's really overpowered for dungeons for two-handers. You will carry your boys. Otherwise, that's about it for the stats. That's about it for where to get your gear. I referred you to where to go to level. Now let's go through a little bit of a demo of how do you handle mobs as Enhanced? What's your method of killing stuff as Enhanced? Because I've had a ton of questions during streams about this. So I'll just show you how I basically kill stuff as an Enhanced Shaman. We don't have very many physical abilities, but what I'll do, and this is usually my technique, is I'll drop Searing Totem. I'll get flame shock up there, so it'll start doing ticking damage. I'll just start meleeing. This is a very conservative way to not spend too much mana and to start killing mobs. There's the Whirlwind. This is the proc that does Whirlwind. It does a lot of damage, and you also want to make sure you have your auto attack set, because at the end of it, you get an auto attack instantly. And so you can see I actually went up in mana, since the beginning of this, and we're gonna kill it pretty easily. It's one level above me. Look, okay, I mean, it's not perfect, but that's the most conservative way to kill a mob. I can kill mobs like that for a while. I almost got all my mana back. It means I don't have to drink very often, and that's my goal when I level, is I don't want to drink very often. I also use multiple ranks of healing, so I don't overheal myself. Now, I just showed you how to kill one mob with the most conservative way. Let me show you the most beefy way that I'd probably do. I'd probably drop Searing. I still put Flame Shock. I would use... Okay, I got a proc, so I'll let that go. I'm gonna use Storm Strike, Earth Shock. That's gonna be my biggest combo if I want to single target something down fast, but I'm gonna blow through my mana. So here we ready? We got it. Got Storm Strike, Earth Shock. I mean, it's decent. These are decent numbers we're putting up. Whirlwind did a ton, but Storm Strike doesn't do that much. It really doesn't. I have another Earth Shock before it expires. Earth Shock doing around 300 damage, while my melee strikes are hitting for 170. I didn't get a... Did I not get a crit? I didn't get a crit. So it's just something, you know, there I burned most of my mana and my health isn't even that much, you know, higher. So I would recommend really doing the passive way. It seems pretty solid. Searing Totem doesn't even do that much damage compared to some shocks. So, you know, you could use that mana for other things, even though 110 mana doesn't really compare to some of the double that. That's how you guys will kill one mob at a time. That's what I would recommend. Very simple. I have Wind Fury up. I didn't even have Lightning Shield on. It costs a lot of mana. It doesn't do too much comparatively. So let me now show you guys something else that I get a lot of questions about from stream. When I'm killing mobs, they say, hey, what do you do if two mobs jump you? What do you do? And these mobs are not easy, and they're higher level than me. Usually I recommend fighting mobs that are your level or below. But I'll show you what happens. I'll aggro two mobs here, one's 47, one's 46, and I'll be like, do-do-do. This will be the one I'll kill, and then I'll accidentally pull him into this mob. All right, so the number one thing I need to do is I need to drop my Stone Claw. That's going to taunt the other mob pretty quickly. Fortunately, unfortunately, I got a Whirlwind proc, so that means I'm hitting both of them. This weapon is outrageous. You can also see I'm getting these flurry procs. See how I'm flurrying? The other thing I can do, because I pulled aggro, is I can start kiting and shocking from a distance. And I can heal without getting pushback. I'll probably get one pushback here. Then I got one more swing. Okay, he's dead. Flame Shock's up. If I wanted to kill this guy fast, Storm Strike him. Now I need to get two Earth Shocks in this window. Got another Whirlwind proc. The Whirlwind, I can actually loot while Whirlwinding. I'm gonna end it early. Dead. So there I handled two mobs. It wasn't perfect. You saw the Whirlwind definitely kind of messed it up a little bit. If I get the Whirlwind proc, it'll taunt off of, it'll do too much damage, and it will pull the mob off of the totem. Stone Claw is very effective though. Stone Claw, it only has 310 health, but it will keep you alive enough. The other thing you can start doing immediately is also kiting. But that's pretty much my script. I don't attack one mob at all if it pulls, and I just tunnel vision on one very, very, very hard. Try to get that one dead, and then I can even start pulling it away. And I dropped Earthbind, which does drop at your feet as well. So let's do that one more time. If I got three mobs, I would not. I would try to kill one and drag the others away. All right, we got a 48. We got a 48 and a 49. Tiqqle, can you handle it? Probably not. Well, we're gonna get many pulls. Oh no, we didn't get it. All right, so I drop Stone Claw right away, and I start kiting. Okay, kited away from the taunt. Storm Striking to try to kill it fast. Okay, we got the taunt out. I dropped the slow. Did not go over well. So in this case, my Stone Claw did not get aggro, so I want to kite. I might not be able to kill this guy, actually. I should get it, actually. I should be okay. Yeah, we're good, we're good, we're good. Now here, my health is too low. What do? I need a Frost Shock and kite. You want to basically leash him at this point. These mobs are not easy, and I will keep on that, I swear to you. So like, in this case, I can't fight two at this low health. Now I'll show you against two mobs. These are one level lower than me. You'll hopefully be able to see a difference. One is I just feel like I do so much more damage. I drop the taunt totem down. I need to leave them here, close enough to the taunt totem. We'll try to burst this guy down. Okay, he already broke the taunt totem. Great. I outrange that stun, so I can kill him. Now I can fight this. Okay, I got another mob. I can drop slow totem immediately. Grounding totem from flame strike. I don't know if that will ground it. So again, I'm kind of working on my main hand swing timer. That's what I need to be using. Kind of focusing on. You can see my swing timer add-on is extremely useful. So I kited one mob out, and now I can kill this guy. But even, you know, it's a lot easier with lower level mobs because you'll have a less chance to get kind of denied damage. So yeah, guys, that's kind of how I kill 2 mobs at the same time at mobs at my level or even a level above me, and how I handle levels below me. And that's pretty much it. Guys, that's pretty much my beginning guide to Enhanced Shaman and how the leveling works. I'm not going to lie, I have a ton of buttons on my bars, but the right click is really the most passive and consistent way to get kills on Enhanced Shaman, especially with that Wind Fury up. So I definitely recommend, guys, that's why these 2 are so critical for that attack speed. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, make sure to stop by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/tickle this. I will put a link to the description. Would love it if you guys sub to the YouTube channel if you want more tips and tricks. Now, guys, if you have any requests for videos, put them down in the comments. I'm happy to do this for you. This was a request after one of the streams that was asked of me, so I want to thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. See you later. When I